Good Saturday, my friends. I'm so excited to see all of you here today. Oh my goodness, let me change my screens around here so I can say hi to everybody. Hi, Amy. Hi, Anjanette. Hi, Cosette, Crystal, Deanne, Debbie, Jennifer, Gavin, Judy, Karen, couple of Karens, Paul, Ken, Lori, Landon, Paul, Sarah, Thomas, Tiffany. Welcome, everybody. I'm so excited that you have chosen to spend some time with me on your Saturday. That's a wise choice because it's January 3rd and the world is kind of still in vacation mode, but come Monday, we got to hit the ground running. We got to get our brains ready for this new year because this new year is different than I would actually say any other past new year in what we need to be ready for at a nervous system level. And so that's why I put this whole webinar together. If you've been reading the emails, I want you to be prepared. I want your nervous system to be prepared to handle what's coming at you. Because the thing is, in our world, there's problems no matter when you live on the planet. If you lived in 1880, if you lived in 1490, if you live in 2026, no matter when you live on the planet, there's going to be problems. The thing that's different today than in past years is that our nervous system hasn't had time to evolve to the inputs that are coming at it. I hope you read the email. If you didn't, I would suggest you go back and read it, where I talked about too many inputs. There's so many inputs that are coming at us in our world. We have instant access to information. This didn't happen when I was a kid. When I was a kid, if you wanted to know something new, you had to go to the library and pull a book off the shelf and leaf through the pages, or you had to go to the get a newspaper or listen to the radio. We didn't have instant access to information. You couldn't open your phone and say, "Oh, you know what? I want to know what the weather is in Australia right now." You can do that instantly. You can use your voice to do that. You can say, Alexa or Hey Siri or all those other things just to be able to get instant access to information. Well, instant access to information has its cost on our nervous system, and our nervous system hasn't been ready for what it's getting now. And in the year 2025, it was like somebody put a brick on the accelerator pedal in your car, and it is just going 100 miles an hour all the time. And the way you know if this is affecting your nervous system is, are you do you find it harder to cope in the world using the same tools that you used to? So, for example, is decision making more exhausting than it used to be? Do you feel on edge or anxious for no clear reason that it doesn't even make sense? Or do you wake up tired even after you've slept? Do you crave sugar, caffeine, doom scrolling, or other distractions to try to be able to escape from what's coming at you? If any of these resonate with you, I want you to find the raise the hand button and raise your hand in the chat in the I don't know what you call that. Just find your raise the hand button. And I've got to make myself some notes here as we go. Awesome. Okay. So some of you relate to that, and that's fantastic. But maybe some of you, have you noticed that we isolate, hide, or avoid people more than we used to? Do you procrastinate even on things that you care about? Or do you ever find yourself saying, I know what to do, but I just can't get myself to do it? That's a big one nowadays, is a lot of people, I hear that from people a lot, that it is, sorry, I just opened my chat, catching up here, that in our world, we're like, "Ugh, I know what to do. I just can't get myself to do it." That comes a lot from the bombardment that we're feeling in the world of all this information that's coming at us. Let's see this one. Do you question your value or your work or your worth? Okay, any of these, and I could, um, that feeling of decision isn't doesn't I can talk this morning. That Sarah says, I raised my hand, but that feeling to decision making isn't new to me. Um, and a lot of these aren't new. I like how you said that, Sarah. But what it is the intensity has turned up. It's like somebody reached in and they turned the knob up or the speed dial up. We're living life on 2x speed instead of on 1x. And being able to process all of that is possible for our nervous system, but we have to install some updates. We have to make some changes. And so if we don't make these changes, then we're going to be more and more susceptible to all of these problems. So my intention with us all spending some time this morning is this is going to be a little bit workshoppy. I want you to have a pen and a paper. I've got mine right here. These are the utensils you need for class today. You're going to need a pen and a paper, and you need your brain. And you also bring your nervous system. If you bring those things, I can help you see how to change the way your operating system is working. Because all the time, if you ever watched my TED Talk, I gave that TED Talk almost 10 years ago, you guys. It was in 2016. So it's almost been 20, it's almost been 10 years. And in that TED Talk, the opening thing that I said is, have you ever noticed that on your phone, you get these notifications all the time that say software update available? Do you want to install it now? Well, that was a new concept 10 years ago, but it is every day now. It is part of our everyday life. We have constant updates that are coming at us on our electronics. And why is that? It's because electronics, if you don't, have you ever tried going without your update? The updates help with security. They help with the viruses that are coming at us. They help with usability. They have lots of effect on our lives if we update our electronic devices. Well, we need to know how to update our internal device, our self, because we're also an electronic device, but we need to know how to update it. So I want to help you with that this morning. And so in order to do that, what I'm going to share with you, let me get back up here to the top of the screen. Everything I'm going to share with you, these are models that come from the Break Free Intensive class and also from my breakthrough coaching. I also use these models in my personal mentoring with people when I work one-on-one with them. And I've been doing this for 15 years, over 15 years now. And in that time, I've worked with thousands of people. And last year, I also got my neuroscience degree. Some of you are aware of that. That was really arduous and so relieving when I finally got word that I'd passed everything and that I got my degree. I actually just broke down and bawled because it was such a pressure release to be able to finally be through with that. So today, I'm going to take that background with all of these people that I've worked with, these models that I've taught in these classes for 15 years, and also my neuroscience understanding and my engineering. And I'm going to use that to teach you how to do some updating. And at the end, just so you know, I'm also going to give some scholarships to Break Free Intensive. So I'm going to, if you're interested in one of those scholarships, all you need to do is you have a button on your screen somewhere. I don't know where it is. And it says questions, where you ask a question. And in there, you just need to put your name or put the word scholarship. Put the word scholarship. If you're interested in being able to be one of the people that's chosen for a scholarship. Okay? So see if you can find that button for me. Oh my gosh, where is it? Let's see if I can find, maybe I don't have one. Oh, there it is. It's called Q&A. Okay. So it's called Q&A and it's a separate button on your Zoom toolbar. Thank you. We have the fabulous Adam helping us in the background here today. And so he is going to help in the chat to be able to answer those questions. So if you're interested in one of those at any time during the webinar, if you're like, you know what, that would be a good place for me to be, so that you're aware, Break Free Intensive will be, you can look at the details of it at this link right here. It's in Salt Lake City area on February 6th and 7th. So if that's something that interests you, please put your name in the chat. So your nervous system, you must work on your nervous system and become more comfortable with being you in whatever the landscape is around you. Because you're the common denominator in all of the things that you go through in your life. So no matter where you're at, some of you might notice I'm in a hotel right now. I'm in Arizona, and for work. And here I have a different environment, but I'm still the common denominator. So how I interact with my world, I can take that with me no matter what environment I'm in. Because, okay, I'm going to skip ahead here for a second. I want you to consider something. I would call this an unpopular truth. Confidence. So confidence, let's define that as the ability to handle whatever environment you're in. Oh, that's good to know, Nikki. Thank you. Adam, can you look at that, please? So the confidence, let's define that as our ability to navigate whatever environment we're in, whether we're in a relationship conversation or maybe we're just handling our own work schedule or our own life. Or let's think about it in the terms of the new year. I wore my New Year's sweater today for our New Year's conversation. And let's think about it in the terms of the new year. A lot of people like to set goals for the new year. And the reason why is because the new year is just a good start point. It's a good place for us to reconsider our forward movement on this planet because the planet just keeps going around the sun and time keeps passing. But we need a place to stop and pause and go, okay, what do I want to do different? What do I want to upgrade? So confidence is something that allows us to be able to handle whatever we're doing. So maybe one of my goals in the new year is better health. I work on my health a lot. Another thing I work on continually is the clutter in my environment. One of the things I'm putting on my list of things that I continually work on is the amount of clutter that's coming at me from my world, from my electronic world, from my physical world. So I'm working on my health and my clutter a lot. So if any of you also work on health and clutter, put that in the chat for me. Just say health and clutter with an exclamation mark. Yes. Because oh my goodness, if I can't work on those two things, I go down in my ability to handle life quickly, right? Yeah, woohoo, let's get rid of clutter. So the unpopular truth that you need to understand is confidence is not a belief in your ability to be able to handle something. That's not what it is. Confidence is actually a nervous system state. Confidence comes from your ability to be calm in whatever situation you're in. And the way the world is organized right now, it actually keeps us on edge. Okay, I'm going to help you understand what is happening at the neuroscience level because, and so I got right here a picture of a neuron. This is the picture of where one neuron is communicating with another neuron right here. This was taken by an electron microscope. This was one of the things that was super fascinating to me in my neuroscience classes was when I had seen pictures or animated drawings of a neuron, I thought, oh, those are so cartoony. But when I actually saw them under an electron microscope, I'm like, oh my gosh, they look exactly the same. They look so the same. So I wanted you to get to see that under an electron microscope, which is amazing because this is showing you something so small we could not see it. We could only theorize that it existed until the 1970s when the electron microscope was invented. So we're talking that's within my lifetime that this was invented. So I'm going to show you at the neuroscience level what's happening to you and why you need to upgrade your software. I'm just going to leave it like that. Why you need to upgrade your software. So I'm going to teach that to you today, and I'm going to give you actual skills that you can take away and practice today. So if you're willing to take notes, if you're willing to listen to the new ideas, it's not enough to learn something new. Our brain also needs, in order to be able to complete the neural wiring, we have to be able to take action on something that we learn. So if you're willing to do that, if that's something that you want, then you're in the right place this morning. And we're going to cover that. And I'm going to go as quickly as I can. Um, but I'm also going to stay on long enough to make sure that you get everything that you need for this movement forward for doing things different in 2026. So if you're in, give me a yes in the chat with capital letters, capital S, capital Y-E-S. Okay. I want it capitals so that I know, yes, yes, this is what I want today. All right. Awesome. Because that's the first step in being able to upgrade is being willing. And by typing that yes, you're showing openness. Because I'm going to boil this down to two concepts today. One of them is pressure and one of them is open. Okay? So write those on your paper. Pressure versus open. Because the world is increasing the amount of pressure that is put on us. Before 2025, and I would say that the tipping point of this was when AI came out. So when did AI come out in 2025? I forgot to look that up. I mean, like ChatGPT kind of AI. AI's been around for a lot of years, but ChatGPT kind of AI came out, I don't remember what month. I want to say it was like May, but that point right there, that was the tipping point to when things just started to increase in speed. Because before that, our nervous system load had a volume and a speed that was going up. It was going up. And the alerts that we would get on our phone were more generalized. We would see commercials, we would see ads on our phone, we would get alerts from people, but they were kind of generalized. They weren't as personalized as they are today. But what was happening is our skills were also on an upward trajectory. But enter the advent of AI. What that has done to us, it has increased the volume and speed exponentially of what is coming at us because people can complete things to push to us faster. And the personalization is off the charts. You hear people joke all the time, well, some of them are joking and some of them are frustrated, but that you'll say something and then all of a sudden all the ads on your phone or on your computer are about that item. So maybe you say, "Oh, it's interesting how coffee makers work." And then all of a sudden coffee makers are all the ads on your phone and you're like, some of these devices, I swear, they are listening to me. And they probably are. This is not that webinar that we're going to talk about that. But the personalization is off the charts. No longer do you just see random ads. The ads are catered to you. They don't just listen to you. They track what your eyes look at on the screen. They're tracking what you click on, what you don't click on. They track all these things. And then sometimes they just blatantly ask you questions. There's my husband going to work. Everybody wave bye. Bye, honey. Um, So the personalization is off the charts. The amount that's coming at you is off the charts, but our skills to be able to handle that are actually going down. And this is the scary part right here is that it's going down. And because our skills are going down, what happens is in order to be able to survive, so our survival tendency um, how shall I say this? We fall into the um, pit. I'm going to call it that. We fall into a pit of anxiety and overwhelm and depression and frustration and hopelessness. Hopelessness, especially in our millennial and younger generation. So I would say under 30s, our 30s and younger right now, because I've got four boys in their 20s right now. I had to think through that. I have four boys in their 20s. So I got case studies at my house all day long. And the hopelessness that is happening on the planet and the isolation and the avoidance and the disbelief in a positive future off the charts. And they don't know how to handle it. Um, and so so let's look at what that's doing to us. Let's skip to this model right here. Where did it go? Oh, here we go, right here. So here's how your nervous system is meant to respond to the world. What's meant to happen is that we can be in a state of relaxation and calm. Something will happen that triggers us, and we go into reaction mode. This right here that you're looking at, this is the signal. It's a neuroscience signal, and you won't be quizzed on this, but it's a neuroscience signal called oh shoot, hang on, the name just left my brain. It's oh my gosh, and I didn't write it down. It doesn't matter. But this is how electrical signals propagate in your neuron, in your neurons. So let's see. I have a neuron. I want to show you how it works. So I need to bring up this screen right here. And then, oh, where'd it go? There we go. So let's look at a neuron. Oh, okay, here we go. Okay, can you see this right here? I don't think I can make it any bigger than that. Let's see. So this is, you can just search this on YouTube or anywhere. This is a neuron trying to connect with another brain cell. So what you're looking at here, these are neurons inside of a brain, and they're trying to make a connection with another neuron. So just watch. So notice this is a time lapse over hours. So they don't really move this quickly, but it's crazy. This is how alive your brain is, you guys. Okay, can you see this on my screen? Yes? Okay. So this is a neuron, and you'll see these spiny things coming off the neuron. These are the communicators. And down each of these, let's pause it right here so you can see. So down each of these right here, you have a signal that is propagated. In other words, a signal goes from the neuron down here and it wants to go to the next neuron. But in order to do that, it has to connect its axon to the dendrite of another neuron. Okay? So this moves down, it moves down the neurons. The signal is moved down there. And it wants so badly to connect with another neuron that this is all the activity that's going on in your brain. And this is how neuroplasticity works, you guys. I know, isn't that cool? I agree. My husband showed me this. He goes, he knew I was doing a webinar about how your brain works. And he's like, "Oh, have you watched this?" And I was like, "I didn't know that was on the internet." So I just went on YouTube and I searched neuron connection. Okay. And there's tons of videos on this if you want to go research it and look at it. But I think that's so cool to be able to see how your brain is working on the inside. I love this kind of thing. It's so awesome. Okay, so the term I was looking for is action potential. This is an action potential that is going on inside of your brain. So the signal moves down that neuron, like I was just showing you, and it moves in this form. So what happens is there's a trigger, there's an electrical trigger. It makes a spike in the electricity, and then it comes back down to a depletion point and it gets back to neutral. Well, um, yes, Corinne says neurons are social creatures. Absolutely. They absolutely are. Okay. You can learn so much from nature. So like our bodies, we need to breathe in and out. Our heart needs to have an upbeat and a downbeat. And this is the same thing that you'll see on a screen when they're measuring heartbeat. A heartbeat has an action potential that happens like this as well. So let's consider this in the way your nervous system works. We're at a state of calm. There's a trigger that happens. We have a reaction. Then we need a de-escalation. We get down to depletion, and then we come back up to calm. So let me describe this for you. Last night, my husband and I went to dinner with another couple. And I was like, "Oh, I don't have time to go to dinner because I need to do a webinar in the morning." But my husband had arranged this. Apparently, he told me about it. He thinks he did a few days ago. I don't remember. But we went to dinner. When we arrived at dinner, I pulled out my phone because we do that all the time, right? And on my phone was an email from a company that they've been charging my husband a lot of money. We're talking, this is not a $20 subscription. This is a four-figure subscription that he tried to cancel. He's been trying to cancel it for over a year. And they came back again saying that they wouldn't let him cancel the subscription that he does not use. He's never once used it. And so if you get a notice that I'm just wondering, how do you handle this? When you get a notice that's going to cost you a lot, it's going to take a long time for my husband to fill the hole that this is causing for him. How does that feel in your body? Is that a trigger for you? Does that does that cause you does that cause you any anxiousness or anxiety? Okay, thank you, Becky. A freak out. Your nervous system has a little freak out. Well, my nervous system did too. And here I was meeting these friends of my husband's that I haven't met before, and I'm supposed to be calm and collected, you know. I'm supposed to be able to handle things, right? I'm supposed to be um the body language and behavior expert because that's how he introduced me to them. And all of a sudden, my nervous system got hit hard. And I was like, the trigger happened quickly, and my body's reaction went, oh, all the things you guys are saying. My stomach tightened. I was like, oh my gosh, how am I supposed to eat? I'm supposed to eat with these people. I don't even think I can put anything in my mouth. Um, and the reaction went up swiftly. So my breathing changed. I was holding my breath. I was clenching my butt cheeks, clenching my stomach, clenching my chest. Everything was clenching. And I was like, oh my goodness, how am I going to handle this? So I excused myself and went to my car for a minute. And I worked on my own nervous system because I've been working on a webinar for this, right? So I worked on my nervous system because here's what happens in your nervous system reaction is first the trigger goes, it works bottom up here. It first goes to your subconscious. And your subconscious triggers a prediction of what's going to happen. You then have a physical response. You have the physical response, the clenching, the tightening, the stomach acids, the stop breathing. And then you feel the emotion. Sometimes we think that the emotion comes first, but it doesn't. It absolutely does not. This is an active area of debate in the neuroscience world, and you can go research for yourself. You don't have to believe me. But this is my understanding, and my research has brought me to this belief right here. So my subconscious feels the trigger first before I do. My subconscious makes a prediction based on the past of how this is going to play out. I then have a physical response. My body prepares by clenching, right? I clench, my heart rate goes up, I'll sweat, my breathing will change, all of those things. Then I have an emotion about it because this is my body applying a story to the preparation stage. And now it finally comes to conscious awareness where I plan for the worst. I plan for the worst. Have you felt this before? You guys following me on this? So this is my example that happened last night. And so I'm going through all of this and it's like, and okay. And I'm like, I went to the car, I sat there for a few minutes and I felt myself get to a de-escalation. This is how it's meant to work. Stress is not a bad thing when you're using it appropriately in your body. Stress becomes a problem when it goes unchecked and when it gets to behave however it wants to. So I got to the de-escalation and the depletion. When you de-escalate and you go, oh, that was exhausting. That was so hard, right? And Jeanette, yeah, this week, right? Yeah. And then after the depletion, so the depletion for me happened. I got up, I went into the restaurant with my husband's friends. I sat down. I'm like, oh, I'm not going to be able to eat. And when I got to the depletion, my body went, I'm hungry. And I went, oh, interesting. So I'm observing all of this happening yesterday. I'm observing it. And the depletion happened. And then I got back to a relative calm. We're meant to be able to go through this whole pattern. We're meant to. This happens. Everybody goes through stress. If you've never gone through stress, then raise your hand for me because I would love to find out where you're hiding out in a cave somewhere on the planet because stress is built into our physiology. Okay, let me say this one more time so it sinks in. We are meant to go through stress. We're meant to handle stress. Stress is a good thing because what it causes is it gives us the adrenaline push to be able to handle something and then be able to move on. But here's the kicker. Here's the kicker is that our modern world is blocking the completion of this cycle. It's blocking the completion. So what happens is the triggers happen and we get triggered online all the time. The algorithms are deliberately programmed to cause triggers. And the triggers aren't always negative things. It can be an assortment of positive, like you'll scroll on reels and um, it's crazy how the algorithm works. But you'll scroll on reels, maybe on TikTok or Instagram or YouTube, wherever. The short form video took off in 2025. Holy cow. So short form videos and the algorithm are specifically designed to cause triggers. So maybe you'll see something that makes you angry. followed by cute kittens that make you happy, followed by somebody doing something kind, followed by a war or an anger or somebody posting a reality reel where maybe they're real, maybe they're reality, maybe they're staged, but they're designed to keep you in a whiplash of triggers. And so the problem is with short form video, what do? We watch a few seconds of a video. It causes a trigger. And our brain, our nervous system goes into the reaction stage. It goes up the reaction. Remember, it goes up the reaction. The problem is, in order to escape that reaction, we either come to the end of the video or we don't want to feel that anymore, so we swipe to the next video. So when you swipe to the next video, yeah, you see where this is going, right? It keeps us stuck in trigger mode. Instead of getting to complete the reaction stage and get to the de-escalation on the other side, we stay in what neuroscience calls partial activation. We are bombarded in our world with partial activation. And partial activation, it becomes this loop. So I am stuck in the reaction state, the reaction phase of my cycle. And this is the part that wears our body down. It's wearing us down to be stuck in partial activation. So when I was writing all these emails and inviting you to this webinar, this is what was on my mind, is the fact that our world is designed to keep us here. And I don't know that it's malicious intent necessarily, but it is the result. And we haven't compensated for it yet. So it is our 2026 problem that we get to manage. Because, like I said at the beginning of the webinar, no matter when you live, you are dealing with problems. The problems you deal with today are different than the ones in the 1400s. You don't have to go dig a outhouse in your backyard. You don't have to deal with the slave drivers that are, hopefully, that you're not have somebody that comes to your house with a big whip and whips you. You're not having that, okay? But the reality is you are dealing with this. This is a hard problem. It's hard, you guys. The problem is it that amplifies this is that you can't see it outside of you. This is happening on the inside. If you see somebody that is, if you're in the 1700s and you're dealing with somebody that has a whip, you can see what the problem is. Or if you're in the Old West and somebody is coming at you with a gun, you see the problem. This is a problem at a level that's invisible on the inside of us. Like the electron microscope, we couldn't see this even though we knew the problems were happening until the microscope was invented. So my intention here on this webinar is to be a little bit of a microscope so you can see what is going on. So this partial activation, this is killing our confidence because confidence is a nervous system state. It's a nervous system regulation ability. When you can regulate your nervous system, your confidence goes up. So think this through to the logical conclusion. If the world is suppressing our ability to complete a cycle, then what's going to happen is it is suppressing confidence. Confidence is going down, and confidence brings hope. Confidence is that ability to be able to navigate and handle your world. So confidence is being suppressed by the speed of the information that is coming at you. Does that make sense? I need a brain that has an explosion on top of it. I'm intending for you to be able to see what is the problem. Because if I can see what the problem is, if I can be conscious of it. I can interrupt um the reaction. How do I want to say this? Um, I'll explain. I'm trying to go too quickly ahead, right? Yikes. I like that comment. So, this is what you're dealing with. This is why your brain is struggling. This is why you feel less hopeful, less capable. This is why your teenagers will come home and they'll say, "Oh, I'm tired. I've got to have a break." And they'll sit on the couch with their phone for 2 hours. And you come in and you're like, "It's time to get something done." "Oh, I'm too tired." You've been sitting there for 2 hours. Yeah, but their nervous system hasn't been de-escalating for those 2 hours. Their nervous system has been in reaction state for those whole 2 hours. So there's a lot of problems here that are happening. We sit in this constant activation, which causes hopelessness, but it also is causing time blindness. We avoid, and then we wonder where the time went. We're like, why don't I have enough time in my day to accomplish what I used to? The kids today don't go to more hours of school than I did when I was a kid, but yet they don't seem to have enough time to do everything they need to do. And the reason why is because of the nervous system state, not because they have more to do. It's what's coming at them. It's the pressure that I talked about. This is causing a pressure that's never been known before. In breakthrough coaching recently, I was talking about how the the neurons and their ability to take a new signal is being artificially suppressed. Um, exactly. Good summary there, Shauna. And I talked about how our neurons work. And this, oh my gosh, this was a powerful conversation. Any of you that are in breakthrough coaching, do you remember talking about this a couple of weeks ago? I know it was before the holidays. Why can't, there we go. Fix that for the OCD among us. So briefly, what's happening here? So this is a neuron. A neuron has an electrical signal. So over here, we'll look at this. An electrical signal comes down. This is the electrical signal I was talking about. But our brain doesn't just send information with electrical signals. It's also chemical. We are a combination of chemical and electrical signaling, which is, to me, evidence that a God was involved in creating us, because it's really powerful. You should all get a neuroscience degree to understand the combination of electrical and chemical signaling and what that causes. It causes us an ability to learn, to have preferences, but it also, because we're on the planet of opposition, there's a dark side to everything. There's a good and a bad to everything on the planet. So what happens, because we have a chemical signaling and an electrical signaling, we have the ability to um, adopt preferences, but also to believe lies, to take on false beliefs as we're growing up. You guys that have watched my webinars regularly, I really appreciate you guys that watch it on a regular basis. I love seeing some of these names that I've seen many times. I've talked about how we'll take on those lies. Well, our world is pushing more of those false beliefs on us. And the way it's happening is this. When this electrical signal comes to the end of the neuron, this is called you can call it the presynaptic terminal or the axon or whatever. Doesn't matter. You're not quizzed on that. But what happens is it comes to the end of the signal and it sends a chemical message to the next neuron. It can't continue the signal without the chemical relay. Well, one of the reasons, this is also a gift from God for us, because what we've been able to discover is that these receptors these receptors that take this neurotransmitter, you've probably heard these words before, this neurotransmitter goes from this neuron to this neuron. And so these neurons send this neurotransmitter that's like a key that has to fit into a lock on the other neuron. And as soon as this key fits into this lock, the signal gets passed on. But what we've been able to discover is that we can artificially block these receptors. This is how a pain reliever works, is it artificially blocks some or all of these receptors with a synthetic or an artificial key. And when it blocks that receptor, when the signal comes, it can't continue on. So we can deaden pain because we understand this. Isn't that cool, you guys? I think that's awesome. But remember what I said, there's a dark side and a light side to everything. So because of that, we need to understand that if I need a pain reliever, then yeah, I can deaden the pain by blocking the receptors. What's causing the pain didn't go away, but my signaling to feel it has gone away temporarily until the receptors get unblocked again. Well, consider this. Some of your brains have gone to the logical conclusion already. When we're in a constant triggered state, what's happening is our receptors are blocked artificially with worry and anxiety and all of the things that go with this reactionary state. De-escalation clears the receptors so that my message can get through. So if my message is something that's going to better me, hope for the future, this is the one that concerns me the most, is that hope is going down in our world. And people, when they feel less hope, they try to point to something and blame it. So blame is increasing. So blame is increasing, hope is decreasing. This is a big problem. And it's happening because our receptors are continually blocked. They don't get cleared by a de-escalation phase. They don't get cleared by, I gave a list in breakthrough coaching of different things that we can do to clear these receptors. It can be things like go build something with your hands. You know what? We don't even, when I was a kid, one of the gifts I would get for Christmas, because I was kind of engineering minded, it would be a model that I could go build. And I would break the pieces out of the model and I would glue them together. And I was terrible at it. But you know what? I love doing it. Gardening, go out and garden, do something with your hands in the dirt. Um, Go and spend some time in the sun, learn a new skill, get a jump rope, learn how to jump a rope. Any of these things actually can help us get to the de-escalation state, which will clear our neurotransmitter receptors so that, because here's what's happening. We'll set goals, right? It's January. It's January 3rd. Let's set some goals. Okay, well, one of my goals is I want to go to the gym. Okay, let's go to the gym. Great idea. The next day I get up and it's like, oh, I don't have the energy to go to the gym. And the signal doesn't have anywhere that it can land that says, no, it's worth it. And so since it can't land, we quickly give up. So giving up is on the rise. Hope is on the decline. Blame is on the rise. Giving up is on the rise. Have you seen it? People give up all the time. I hear, had a couple of conversations with teachers this last week. One of them was somebody that said that their sister-in-law is a teacher and she quit her job because she said kids don't want to learn anymore. They don't want to solve a problem. They want all answers given to them. When I was a kid, we would joke about how we didn't want to go have teachers that just wanted us to regurgitate information. We didn't want to. Now the kids are demanding that that's what they get to do is regurgitate information. They don't want to know how to solve a problem. They want the answer instantly, and if they have to wait more than 3 seconds for the answer, they get frustrated. They're so creativity is on a decline. I should have made a slide of this. Hopefully you're writing it on your paper. So creativity is on a decline, hope is on a decline, blame is on an increase, avoidance and giving up are on an increase. And that is a problem. It's a problem, you guys. We've got to do something about it. So so you ready for a solution? I've given you a lot of problem. Are we ready for some solution? So let's look at this. So I was talking to another teacher yesterday. In fact, this couple that we went to dinner with, the wife is a teacher. And so I was telling her that I was doing a webinar and I was telling her these things and I had my computer with me and I was showing her some of these slides and she says, "Oh, then what happened?" So she says, "What we're being taught in our school district is that we need to have conscious discipline." And talking to her, basically what conscious discipline is it's talking about, um, remember I talked about how our body goes through a trigger. Our subconscious, it goes through our subconscious first, then we have a physical response, then an emotion, then conscious awareness, right? And just so I can add here, conscious is the only place that choices happen. Everything else is default. Conscious is the only place that choices happen. Everything else is default. Okay? Write that on your paper or type it in the chat. So uh, the problem is that when this trigger happens and I go through this cycle, my conscious doesn't fully come online. I go with whatever has worked in the past. That is what default is. And so as long as I'm going with whatever the default is, I'm going to repeat past patterns. Well, what conscious discipline is, and I love it, I think it's awesome, is it talks about just these center two. It's saying before you take an action, you need some self-regulation. You check in with yourself. Is my breathing fast, shallow, or am I holding my breath? How's my muscles? Are my butt cheeks clenched? Are my shoulders like this? Am I losing my neck? Because this is where stress happens. You'll see people, they actually start, I mean, I'm exaggerating here, but you'll actually see their neck disappear. I know when my husband's stressed because he has less neck. His shoulders get tense. My jaw was hurting when I was having this stress response. My chest can get tight. Then I check in, what's my emotional charge? In other words, what is the emotion feeling like? Is it anger, fear, urgency? In other words, am I feeling threatened? When am I feeling threatened? So she was talking about how they're trying to teach the teachers, which I love this because I wish more teachers knew this, but they don't. I teach teachers, I teach companies, I teach people, and people don't know these things because we didn't, part of it, it's not just because people didn't know to teach it. It's because, I mean, it's not because they're not teaching, it's because we didn't know to teach it. Like I said this in one of the emails, that we raised a generation that's largely unprepared for what's coming at them. But it's not because we didn't prepare them, it's because we didn't know what to prepare them for. We couldn't have seen this coming. We didn't know. So if any of you are like me and you beat yourself up as a parent and you're like, "Oh, I wish I had prepared my kids better for this." You didn't know. We couldn't have known that this was coming. So we have to check in. Am I feeling threatened? In other words, let me give you another personal example. So it was funny because my husband told me yesterday, he says, "I feel like this evening you're going to have experiences that will help you with your webinar." And I was like, "Oh, I'm not sure I want that." But he was right. So last night, one of my sons calls me because remember, I have four unmarried, single, 20-something boys who are trying to navigate this world. And they all are excelling in an area and not and struggling in another area. But they're different for every person, for every kid. They all are different. So can you relate? Yeah. So I answered the phone, and the son is well, I'll just give you the whole scenario. He was asking me if he could get rid of something of mine. And I noticed that my sense of safety went down for a second because I've learned to be aware of this in me. I felt threatened for a minute. I was like, well, wait a second. You don't get to get rid of something of mine because he's at my house right now. And I'm like, what? Do you like it when somebody else tries to throw something away of yours? Um, that was a I felt threatened, but I needed to notice that. I needed to notice that, or else I was going to respond from a state of threat. And when we feel threatened, when we feel threatened, if you feel threatened, you will act from the survival state. And the survival state will prioritize that specific moment. It won't prioritize the whole relationship. It won't prioritize long-term gains. It will prioritize that moment. And this is where we make snap decisions. This is where we hurt people that we care about, is because we are in a state of, we're not in a state of regulation. We're in a state of deregulation. And so we want to be able to self-regulate. So I first check in. So regulation requires a check-in and then it needs an action. So I noticed, how does this work? I noticed I held my breath when my son called and my jaw got sore and I went, oh, and then I asked myself, am I feeling threatened? That asking myself that got me to a state where I could make a choice. So now I have to take an action. How do I take an action? You can take a screenshot of this. I slow my breathing down or I start breathing, one or the other. If I'm holding my breath, I need to start breathing. I use my body language to ground myself. So this means you don't want to be leaning to one side. You want to center yourself in a grounded body language. Relax my facial expression, even if you're on the phone. Because if you relax your facial expressions, your voice tones will change on the phone. This happened for me a couple of days ago. Another son called me and he was struggling getting his classes set up for. And in the past, I would have been like, I'll help you schedule classes. Which ones do you want? And I would go do it. And I'm like, that's not helping him. It's saving him in the moment, but it's not helping him. So I was having to continually soften my facial expressions and very patiently walk him through what to do to sign up for those classes, right? And then I need to lower my voice tone and slow my pace. When in doubt, slow down. Write that on your paper. When in doubt, slow down. Because slowing down is going to help regulate your body first before engaging with other people. If you want to initiate de-escalation, slow down. Slow down is like the magic bullet when it comes to regulation. So the thing is, so talking to this teacher, I loved what she was talking about, but I realized that the missing pieces were that we were only talking about the emotions and the physical response. And that's great. Those are important. And I want you to practice them. I want you to take screenshots of these. What do I do when I'm feeling myself get out of regulation? I check in with my breathing, my muscle tension. What emotion am I having? And am I feeling threatened? I go through those four things. And and then what do? I got to take some action. So I slow my breathing, Remember, the magic thing is to slow my breathing, ground my posture, relax my face, lower my voice, slow my pace. Try it. Take a deep breath right now. Yeah, it helps so much, right? But what's missing is these other two states. What happened in the prediction state? What happened in the plan for the worst? So this is a model that I call our conscious response ability, our ability to respond. So the conscious responsibility, or I'm going to call it the PS model. So notice on our system reactions, everything are P's. And I didn't even, well, I'll just pretend that I planned it that way, but it just came out that way. So when I go through this trigger, my subconscious makes a prediction. My physical body prepares, tightens. The emotion gives purpose to the tightening. Does that make sense? And then I plan for the worst. I take action based on the worst. So my prediction is a guess based on the past. The preparation is a clench, or the heart rate, the sweating, the physiological change. The purpose is the story, and the plan for the worst is the action I'm going to take in a place of survival. I'm going to write that there. Survival. I think I spelled it right. The survival action. And survival action, remember, it does not plan for the future. It doesn't care about relationships. It will let things fall apart in the future and prioritize this moment. So if I can understand this, I can have nervous system response ability if I can move back down the other side. Because remember, the de-escalation side. I need that de-escalation. So I need to be able to move down the other side. So the P's, right? The P's were the prediction, the preparation, the story, and the survival action. The S's are, can I pause long enough to become sane? Not just react, but think about what's going on. So this is where I need to, sanity is, sane here is intentional. Can I become intentional? Then I can check in with my safety. So my state, my safety, or my survival. So this is those same questions that I just taught you, right? The self-regulation. Can I check in with my state? Can I tell myself that I'm safe? I'm actually okay. I'm not in danger. So like when my son is talking to me on the phone and he wants to get rid of my stuff, and I'm like, I'm not in danger. I can work on this. I can talk to him. This is okay. So then I slow down. Remember, that's the magic sauce right there is slowing down. But then here's the piece that is super important. This right here, let me grab a loop and show you this right here. This right here, I will, if all I work on is the emotions and the physical response, it will help. It absolutely will help. But the problem is this will be a repeating pattern unless I can address this subconscious level, this guess based on the past. Unless I can address that, I am going to go back through this over and over and over and over and over again. And so if I want to break the cycle, I have to understand the lens that my subconscious was looking through, right? I have to understand that. So I am working my way back down. I'm de-escalating my nervous system. So that self-regulation, breathing. I got to take a breath. I got to slow it down or I've got to start breathing because a lot of people will hold their breath and not realize they're doing it. That is so common. And you'll watch, if you start paying attention to people, you'll see that they actually do hold their breath when they get stressed. And it's crazy how that happens. Um, so let me get back to here. So I want to go back down this other side, but I don't want to just regulate my nervous system. I want to be able to take a beat and say, what was I afraid was true? That's a really good question. Write that on your paper. What was I afraid was true? Because it's not your nervous system. I need to reiterate this for you guys and for me. Your nervous system does not care about true. It doesn't care what is true. It cares what it has survived. Your nervous system cares about survival, not truth. So, what was I afraid was true? And this is the thing that's hard. This is where if we will do the work on it, we can improve relationships, we can improve ourself, we can improve our results, we can improve our interaction with the world. If I can break the cycle. So I want to be able to change the lens that I'm seeing that my subconscious is looking through. Cool? All right. So my trigger happens, but then I want to go back down the other side. And sometimes I can't do all of this in the moment. In fact, people really struggle with this one. This is why I have the Break Free Intensive class, is because at Break Free Intensive, what I do is I have people come up on stage. I work with them on stage. And what you're watching is you're going to watch their triggers happen. And then I'm going to walk them through being able to go back down and look and consider the lens that the subconscious was looking through. Because here's a secret sauce here is that your body language is being run by the subconscious lens most of the time. Your body language, the messages you send out, and this and this is the thing, I watch people everywhere I go. This poor couple that we went to dinner with, I'm watching all of their body language. And I can see a lot of the programming that's behind the scenes of their voice tones, their behaviors, their comments, their wording, because I that's what I do as a body language expert, is I look at that body language and I trace it back to the lens that the subconscious is looking through. And remember, the lens is right here. It's the believed lie. That's what the lens is. Your lens that you're looking through is the lies that you have agreed to in order to survive throughout your life. Okay? So let me say that one more time so you can type it in the chat or write it down. Your lens is the lies that you have agreed to over the years in order to survive your life. Because we are hugely wired for social belonging. That is very, very important. That's not going to go away. Even though in our world, excuse me, the algorithm that's coming at us is trying to tell us that people are unsafe. In fact, I did an audio recording 10 years ago where I talked about how one of the things that will help our ability to feel and to feel like we're enough and to feel like we are worthy and deserving of good in our lives is to be able to even make eye contact and smile at people. And I recorded that 10 years ago, and I remember thinking there's going to be some pushback on this. And now our world pushes back on that so hard. You try to go to the grocery store. I make this a game. I go to the grocery store and I'll be ready to make eye contact and smile to everybody at the grocery store. And I just want to see how many people will even look up when they go past me. And it's maybe 30% of the people that will even look up nowadays. They won't even they won't even look up. They keep their head down, they keep their face away from you. They, even if they're not on their devices, they are keeping themselves separated and isolated. And this is reinforced by this crazy nervous system state of partial activation. People don't feel safe. This is why in the customer service world, people are mean all the time. People think that the only way to get the solution that they want is meanness. And I think that's sad. I think it's unfortunate, but it's coming from this constant state of partial activation. Yay. Becky says, I got a smile from a lady yesterday. I'm so glad. It's the exception, not the rule, which is so frustrating. And so I need to be able to, I need to be able to see that lens. I need to know what that believed lie is, because your nervous system doesn't care about truth. You had to socially survive through your life. You are wired for social survival. You need a tribe. You need people. And it's so sad to me because I saw, yeah, I need to clean my lenses. Absolutely. I saw somebody yesterday sent me their vision board. And this isn't somebody that I've worked with yet, but they sent me their vision board. And on it basically was just that they didn't want to be alone anymore. Our world is creating loneliness and isolation, and that wears us down. It wears us down. Even when we're surrounded by people, we're alone. And being being on YouTube and watching other people is not connection. You need to be having communication, not just watching and having input. Input is going to keep you in the state of partial activation. De-escalation is an output. Output has to happen over here. Wrong button. Try that again. Output. So over here, this is input. You need more output in your life. You need more output. Okay, so, oh yeah, I didn't do that, did I? Okay, let me do that really quick. Let me get I need them both on one screen. Okay, there you go. So now, right? There you go. Okay, so have you guys learned something today? Have you learned something? Tell me in the chat if you took something away from this, because this right here, I did this webinar purposefully as something that you'll need to rewatch, because I need you to understand this at a deeper level. So we will be sending out a replay. The replay will only be available for 1 week. Okay, that's all. The replay. Oh, the sun just came up. Okay, so the replay, you'll get an email with the replay. And so if you want to share that with somebody, you're like, oh, they need to hear this, they need to look at this, then you can totally share it with them. But the replay will only be available for 1 week. So at Break Free Intensive, this is our focus. I wrote down, I didn't make a slide for this, but let me read to you. These are some of the models that we will be talking about at Break Free Intensive. I'm going to teach you behavior frames. Now, this is so let me boil it down to this. I'm going to be teaching you social social models, and also personal models. I have to change this blind because the sun just came up. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to be teaching you what? Social and personal models. And I'm going to teach you about nervous system regulation. I'm going to teach you about the frame. This is a quick tool that you can use to improve your confidence in any social situation. Now, social includes family, it includes in-laws, it includes neighbors, it includes spouses. Okay, so social is very important. I'm going to teach you clutter models, authority and confidence, how to dissolve past contracts, lies that you've adopted over the years, misunderstandings at church. We're going to talk about that. Moral identity, influence and belief systems, and the difference between pressure and openness. So like this model that I shared with you today, if you want 2 days full of those, we're going to meet in Salt Lake on February 6th and 7th in the Salt Lake City area. I think I just said that twice. So Break for Intensive is going to be in the Salt Lake City area, February 6th and 7th. Now, this is my second in-person class since COVID shut us down in 2020. Why am I doing this? It's really hard. I just want you to know this. It's really hard to put together an in-person live class. It's much easier to do it over Zoom. I could totally just do it over Zoom. I mean, come on, we have to travel to get to the place, to be in the same place at the same time. But the thing is that doing that actually, going through that effort has an incredible benefit to our nervous system. We need to be around real people more. That's why that's why our whole team is going to the effort of putting this together, is because we need this more than ever. 2026 is going to come at us faster and faster and faster. It's not slowing down, you guys. It's not. And if it does, just so you know, if it does, it will slow down abruptly. And if that abrupt happens, your ability to have a nervous system regulation will be the difference of your survival. Because when we have the ability to regulate our nervous system, we have confidence in whatever situation we're in. And it is not something that we can afford to not be well versed in anymore. And so I decided that I need to help a few people out. We need to give some scholarships to Break Free Intensive. Now, I gave you the details. I told you it's in Salt Lake City area, February 6th and 7th. If you can't be there, please do not put your name in the Q&A because I want you to be there. I want you to be there. So I'm not going to give you a scholarship. And then here's the risk is that our brain does not value what we don't invest in. It doesn't. We think it will, but it just doesn't. And so the way I've always said it is people think they want free information, but they don't. They won't act on it. And so I'm putting a filter on this because I want like-minded people in the room for you to interact with. That's the reason for it. And so if you are going to put your name in for a scholarship, make sure that you agree that you're going to be there, that you're going to put forth that effort because you're missing the filter of the investment. Does that make sense? Okay, so I have my Q&A slide over here. Let me pull it over here where I can see it. Okay, so does everybody have their name in? Okay, good. So I see the number going up and down. So people are saying if they, good. If you can't be there, then that's okay. Nothing personal. I have no, there's nothing that makes me feel any different here. Okay? I love it. Love it. All right, I'll give you a few more seconds. So what's going to happen is this. Um, I am going to, those of you that get a scholarship, you're still going to go to this link to register, okay? Um, and Adam is going to he's going to send a personal message to you, sorry, with the directions on how to register, okay? He's going to send you the directions. All right, so I'm going to pick these people randomly out of our list here. All right, everybody there? The numbers keep changing. All right. Okay, so our first scholarship winner to the Break Free Intensive is Sarah Barrows. Sarah Barrows. So everybody go, yay for Sarah. Put it in the chat. Yay, Sarah. Yay, because it's good when we share positive energy. That's a great question. If we're already registered, can we still get a scholarship? So what I would say is that if you get a scholarship and you're already registered, bring a friend with you. Bring a friend with you because that would benefit both of you. Um, if you bring a friend with you, you'll have even more connection that you'll get out of the event. So that's so awesome. All right. Should we give out another scholarship? So the next scholarship that we'll give out here, um, hang on, let me answer a question to Adam here. Okay, so our next winner is, oh, she says she's so happy. And are you going to be there, Sarah? You'll be there, right? Both days, February 6th and 7th? Awesome. Awesome. Actually, raise your hand, Sarah. Raise your hand. Can you raise your hand in the raise the hand button for a second so I can find your name on the list? It'll bring your name to the top. There she goes. There she goes. Okay. So, Sarah, can you unmute?
Hi.
Hi. Okay, so tell us, Sarah, why do you want to come?
'Cause I'm trying to make some big changes in my life.
Yeah?
Yeah, I have a lot of I've been I've been getting unstuck the last year, but I just need the extra mile to actually choose a path I want. Because I'm burnt out from my massage career.
Yeah. Burnout. If you notice, that was the title of the sign up for the webinar was burnout because that's what people keep calling everything that's coming at them. It's causing a lot of burnout. So this will be the perfect place for you to come and help align yourself for moving forward. I love it, Sarah. Thank you for
Thank you so much.
applying for a scholarship.
I'm very, very excited. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. I look forward to seeing you in person.
All right, I'll be there. Yeah.
Yay! Okay, so our next winner is, let me do my random number draw here. Okay, our next winner is Trish Madsen. Trish Madsen, will you please raise your hand? Awesome. All right, Trish, can you be there? Can you unmute yourself?
I will be there with bells on. I can't wait.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to see you in
I know.
person.
I miss you. I'm excited to see you too.
Well, tell me why you want to come.
I've really struggled this year. It's been a rough year. Since June, I've just had a lot of health issues, and I started drinking again, and I've really struggled, but I'm ready to make changes. I'm actually leaving on Monday to go to an inpatient treatment center, and I've got a month under my belt right now, but I'm really excited for 2026 for it to be a better year and a year of change. I know that a lot of my health issues are because of emotional things that are stuck, and the things I've been through and trauma. And I'm ready for big changes. I'm ready for it.
Oh, I'm so excited for you, Trish.
Thank you so
Well,
much.
welcome to Break Free Intensive. I'm so excited you're going to be there.
Me too. Thank you very much, Anne.
My pleasure. Okay, should we give away another scholarship? I lost my window with the people. Hang on. There we go. Yes. All right. So I'm going to spin my dial here again. Here it is. No, that's not it. Sorry, I have so many windows and my one with the Q&A names keeps disappearing. There we go. There it is. Okay, my next number is okay, that one, whoops, I don't know how to remove these and she already, oh, here we go. Sorry, you guys, hang on. I need to take the two people out that already won. Okay, so the next winner is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Karen Knickerbocker. Karen Knickerbocker. Can you raise your hand, Karen? There she is. Oh,
I'm on, and I'll be there.
you'll be there? Okay, how come you want to come,
Absolutely.
Karen?
Well, I was with your group until June, and since then I have felt stuck, and I have find that having that extra support is very helpful. And I have a goal of moving into a new home in August, and I need all the help I can get to make sure I can make that goal a reality.
I love it. I love it. Congratulations, Karen. I'm so
Thank
excited that you're
you.
going to come.
I'm excited to see you. We'll see you then.
Yay! Okay, all of you guys that won, you got to know that I expect you to come and give me a hug at Break Free Intensive, all right? Because we're going to get to see real people there. And so if you're open to hugs, I like to get a hug from people there. All right, awesome. Okay, let's do one more scholarship and then we've got to move on with our Saturdays. And then so I'll do one more scholarship here in just a moment, but I want you to know this, you guys. I'm going to do this. Here's the information about Break Free Intensive. Okay. This class, we taught it for years before COVID. I taught Frying Pan and Break Free Intensive. Thousands of people attended these classes. I worked with well over 1,200 people live on stage in front of people, in front of the whole audience. And this class was, it was very hard at first for me to keep doing it because it takes a lot for me to be able to be up there on stage and be open to whatever people need to work on. But I've worked on my nervous system so much now that I feel better equipped than ever to be able to help people there. So I'm really excited for this. Because of that, the regular tuition, back when we used to do it was $7.49 per person, and the class was always full. But our world is different now. And so I've changed the tuition to be $297 for one person or $397 for two people. Because you're on the webinar today, I want everybody to be able to have a partial scholarship. So you can use this link right here, 3ke.to/BFI, and Adam will put the link in the chat. You can use the code UNSTUCK and it will give you $100 off of that tuition. Okay, $100 off. And what I'm going to do is the first 5 people who register using that link are going to get a one-on-one appointment with me. All right. So I'm going to give one more scholarship away, but I just want you to be aware that if you are like, oh man, I really want to come, then register for the class. And if you're one of the first 5 people, you'll get a one-on-one appointment with me. And today, you can ask questions in the chat while we're still online. But if you get off the webinar, the first 5 are going to go quickly because a one-on-one appointment with me, if you registered for that, would be more tuition than you're going to pay for the class. So I'm basically investing in your future because I believe in your awesomeness. I believe in the world's need for you to be able to manage your nervous system. You guys, I alluded to this, but if and when our world gets crazier, or we lose electronic capability or whatever, I'm not being a doomsdayer here, but if something happens, the difference between your survival and not survival will be your ability to manage your nervous system. And if you can learn to manage your nervous system in our current environment with all of the inputs, you'll be able to manage your nervous system in any situation that you get into. We have things that trigger our nervous system all the time, even if it's just a customer service email, or if it's our son calling us on the phone, or if it's our spouse that's upset with us, or it's a person driving down the freeway that cuts us off. If we can't manage our nervous system in those situations, then we won't be ready when we need to manage our nervous system more quickly and more consistently. So it is more important than ever. I highly recommend that you join me in February. I want you there. I want you there. So much so that the first 5 people are going to get a one-on-one appointment with me. So if you have any questions, type them in the chat. Or before we leave, I'll give you my personal cell phone number because it's the weekend. So the office won't be able to answer questions over the weekend, but I will personally answer them. I will personally do that for you. Okay. So I need to get my number generator out again. And my next scholarship is, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The next winner is Jonda Perper. Jonda Perper, raise your hand. Raise your hand, Jonda. Is she on here? You have to be present. Jonda, are you there? Let's see if she's there. Okay, I'm not seeing Jonda. Okay, let's move on. One more scholarship. Okay. So our next, I'll spin the dial again, and our next scholarship is going to go to Mark Durchie. Mark Durchie, are you here? I know you guys have stayed with me extra long. I'm so glad. Mark Durchie, raise your hand, Mark. There we go. Okay, Mark, can you unmute? There you go.
We're both here.
Whoa.
I
Hi,
think my
Mark.
computer's broken. You can't see me, I don't think.
No, she
Well,
hasn't done this.
Oh,
yeah, I don't have that on. It's only sound. So, Mark, are you going to come?
yes, we've decided we're both going to come.
Wonderful. I love it. Well, Mark, you have won a scholarship, and I want to know, why do you want to be there?
Well, what you've just gone over today has fascinated me. Everything you go over, every once in a while, I have the chance to listen a little bit on Brenda with you. And I know that's cheating, so I try not to. But you're brilliant. You're just brilliant.
Well, thank you, Mark. I am so excited to see you in person. I'm so glad that you won a scholarship.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure. I will see you both in February then.
Yes.
Yay. I
So I
love
went
it.
ahead and registered. Does that already take care of the scholarship? I registered for both of us
Oh, when did you register? So
moments ago. I was just finishing as you called his name.
So we'll sort that out. We'll sort that out, because what we said was that just bring somebody else. But if you just did it moments ago, we'll sort it out for you, okay?
All right. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Congratulations, everybody. I'm so excited that you guys have been on here with me today. And I hope that you will take action on what you learned. So before we go, in the chat, please tell me what action you're going to take because you were here today. Maybe your action is you're going to come to Break Free Intensive. Maybe your action is that you are going to practice your nervous system regulation. Maybe your action is you're going to start paying attention to how much input you have versus output. And you're going to help yourself get all the way through the cycle of reaction and de-escalation. But type it in the chat for me so that I know that you're all going to take an action. Because if you don't take an action, then your brain will forget what you are, your brain will forget and you'll have to relearn it. I love it. Self-regulation. Oh yeah, there's a great one. Share the video. Share the video when you get the replay video email. Share the replay. The replay, I'm going to type it in the chat for you here. The replay will be at this link. Whoops. Until next Saturday. 3ke.to/replay. But the replay won't be up. You got to give us a little bit of time after the webinar to get the replay up, okay? And so in a few hours, that replay link will be available. Watch my TED Talk. That's a good one. Going to practice self-regulation. That's excellent. I love these, you guys. These are so good. Well, I love putting these webinars together. I'm going to do 2 more webinars before Break Free Intensive. So if you have somebody you want to share this link with, please share it and watch the emails, and I will send you out more information as the class gets closer. Excellent. I love it. All right. Have a wonderful day, everybody. I love you. I believe in you. I believe in your ability to have confidence in this crazy world. And crazy doesn't mean that it's bad. It just means it's very different. And so let's improve our confidence and let's improve our nervous system regulation. Love it. You guys are so wonderful. Have a great day. We'll stay on here and answer questions for a few minutes. So please ask questions in the chat. And I can't wait to see you in February. Love you.